Hello and welcome back to the Real Music Show. We bring you closer to the artists and creators you love, along with some exclusive live performances. Today's guest is a very talented singer-songwriter, Eddie.
Hello.
Welcome to the show, Eddie. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks, man. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. Not too bad, yeah. Pleasure to have you on the show today.
Yeah, man. It's good to be here.
Cool. So let's get straight into it. So the first section, we're going to talk a little bit about your musical influences and your music as a whole. So how long have you been playing music now, Eddie?
I don't even know. I realised I've been playing live. I realised the other day that it's literally like 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Literally like 10 years I've been playing live. So I guess properly playing, it's got to be like 11 years.
Oh, wow.
But I started playing guitar when I was like 14.
Yeah.
But so there's a few years like I built up before that, but I didn't really play. It was more just to show off. Be like, I play guitar. Then I actually decided to learn.
And did you start like playing acoustic, or did you start on electric?
Started on electric, making as much noise as possible.
Yeah.
Making loads of noise.
Yeah, it's
definitely.
quite interesting how some people go like one way or the other with that.
Yeah.
Like, some people start on acoustic and then move to electric because they're like, I need to make more noise.
I like both. Both are good.
Yeah, good. I love that. So, thinking about your current musical style, how would you describe yourself to someone that's never heard your music before?
Well, this is someone we were talking about earlier, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's a difficult one because there's a lot of genres going on, but it's mostly folk, chilled, reggae, a little bit of rock thrown in there for a bit of spicy goodness.
A bit of everything, then, really.
Yeah.
Cool. So, I know, like at the moment with COVID, the gigging situation is quite different. But can you talk to our viewers a little bit about your experience playing gigs to date?
My experience playing gigs to date. Well, it's been a bit off and on. Like a lot of pub gigs, a lot of like not boring gigs, like fun, good gigs. Like, but it's a bit of a weird one where you end up like one day you'll be playing in a pub, and it'd be like no one will be listening at all, and you're like, yeah, that's okay, it's like a paid practice. But then you'll play some gigs sometimes if you're lucky, like I had been the last couple of years. You start getting some really good gigs because you start getting a bit of a name for yourself so the pub gigs pay off, even if nobody seems to be paying attention. But yeah, honestly, people were listening when you don't realise they're listening. But yeah, it's been a bit of a mishmash. I've played pub gigs where nobody's been listening, and I've played to about 2,000 people who are nearly all listening, I think, maybe. So it's a bit of a...
You hope so, but you never really
swings
know.
and roundabouts for these sorts of things.
And what sort of areas are we talking for these pub gigs? Is it like the local area?
Yeah, mostly just Wiltshire. I've played a few times in Bristol.
Yeah.
Not for ages. Current circumstances, of course. Yeah, mostly in Wiltshire. Keeping it local.
No, that's cool. So, like, would you consider like going more across the UK, maybe? Like,
Yeah.
what would you think would be the benefit of doing that?
Well, just hopefully more people that like it, because as well it's the way it goes, isn't it? Because music is very subjective. So I'd like to travel around and see how many people I can fool into into listening to me. Yeah, listen to me caterwauling.
So, like, have you had much feedback on your music? Like, what's your fans say about you?
Fans. Like, I've got one fan called James Barlow who loves me. Just won't leave me alone.
Shout out to James Barlow.
This guy just, stop, leave me alone, James. Just stop.
I'll make sure he watches this. Look out for James Barlow in the comments.
No, I think I've got a nice fan base because I wouldn't say I was especially popular, but it's the quality rather than the quantity. Like, I've got some nice followers who are not afraid to say what they think, and who like the fact that I just play songs. I'm kind of selfish. I just kind of play songs for me, and then if anyone likes it, I'm like, bonus.
I think that's the best way to be sometimes. Yeah, it's just all about expressing yourself, right? And I think fans notice that on your music. When you're doing that, and you're just being honest to who you are.
Well, that's why I think I quite like my fans even more, because they listen. They're enjoying what I enjoy. So I guess there's in a kind of perhaps slightly arrogant way and maybe a self-indulgent way, it's quite nice. I'm like, I must be, it's not just me who is into this kind of music. So I'm trying to write something that I think other people, not necessarily everyone will enjoy, but like people with a similar mindset might enjoy, who have similar taste in music.
Yeah.
So who knows.
In terms of like your musical influences then, like, who's your top artist that you listen to? Who do you think influences your style the most?
God, I mean, it's all dependent on what part you're listening to, because I like we said it before, I played so many genres. I mean, massive influences in terms of the way I sing and like the open chords that I use. It's going to be like Morning View, Incubus, that album specifically.
Okay.
Like you can hear, because that's when I first started listening to music and like getting to play my own music. You can hear I probably sing with an American accent. I listen to it so much, but then like progressively listen to more and more stuff, and like a lot of Chili Peppers, of course, has come in. Like,
love the Chili Peppers.
Yeah, we love the Chili Peppers. I'm much more chilled and laid, like some of the more chilled, laid back stuff you hear from them. Like not like the proper funk stuff. Obviously, I don't really do that. But and then obviously as my taste has progressed, like Radiohead snuck in and things like that, and
nice.
Everything like it's just like it's mixing it up into a like nice pie of music. Like John Frusciante, of course, some of his stuff on his own. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right.
I think it's Frusciante.
Is it Frusciante? I
think so, yeah. But
yeah,
I feel
someone will know.
Someone's going to correct us. From that,
I don't care. Someone, please correct me. I've been saying it wrong this whole time. Perry would know, wouldn't he?
Oh, we definitely would.
Yeah, Perry would know. Yeah, he's a big fan.
Cool. So, what do you enjoy the most about playing music?
That's a really good question. I think it's just I'm not going to say something to do, because that makes it sound that belittles how much I enjoy it. Like, but it's like anyone when they're like growing up, they're like, man, what am I actually good at? Like, and you're like, I mean, it takes a lot of practice. You don't just get good at something, like no matter what, even with natural talent. But I don't know. It's just. That's a really good question. I'm not even sure. But like, I just enjoy it. I'm a bit. I mean, I'm pretty self-indulgent. I am a little bit addicted to applause, but I'm trying to think why I started doing it. I think maybe I wanted to be like rock and roll and wanted to be cool.
Yeah. And
then it kind of progressed into more like, actually, this makes me feel good. Like, it just makes me feel better, even if I'm not playing to anyone. I don't know. I'm not sure I'm clever enough to answer that. I'm not even sure.
But even if we're just talking about pure like emotions and feelings, like I think if a band's having fun when you see them, it transfers to the audience.
Yeah.
The audience pick up on that energy, and then it just kind of like spreads.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I find at concerts, if it's really energetic, everyone like vibes with it. Or if it's a really sad song, everyone will get their lighters out and stuff like that. And I think that's the best part about like concerts, especially where everyone's just together enjoying that moment. And obviously, especially like bigger artists, so someone like Foo Fighters or something like that, where they've got so many different songs, or the Chili Peppers again, where the whole set kind of like takes you on a journey.
Yeah, man.
I think people really connect with that.
I should have got you to write my answer. That was way better. I just mumbled about something and then was like, what am I talking about? I've lost my train of thought. I should have just got you to write me my answer and just read it off a cheat sheet. Fuck.
So if you were thinking about, if you were starting out as a musician again, what advice would you give to somebody? So someone was just picking up the guitar for the first time. What sort of advice would you give them? What sort of guidance would you give them at this point?
Be really confident.
Yeah.
But maybe not arrogant, but confident that you have the ability to be good.
Yeah.
But and also don't be afraid to make mistakes. I used to be so scared. Yes. I used to get such not obviously clearly not now. I used to get such bad stage fright. I used to be so nervous and so afraid to make any mistakes that I just wouldn't play.
Yeah.
And like that's one of those things you have to get over. I'd see someone talking at the back and I'd just assume that they were talking about how bad I was. Like I was that paranoid and that nervous Whereas now I'm just like, I don't even care. I'm just playing. I just want to play guitar.
Way. Like, you just got to think, like, imagine you're doing something there. It's the same thing. Just enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah,
like we said earlier, the audience will pick up on that.
Yeah, and just just don't be afraid to try things and for it to go wrong or possibly go really well. Like, making mistakes is definitely 100% of the way of learning how to do it right.
I think that's how you learn anything. Like, it's like I was reading a book the other day, and someone used the analogy of like when you're a toddler and you're learning to walk. Like, you don't just get up and walk, do you? Like, you fall and you keep struggling, and eventually you get there.
That's a sick analogy. I'm stealing that.
Absolutely, do steal it. I stole it from a book anyway, so it's not like I made it up. But,
Could have got away with that.
I think that's a good way of like describing it, and learning an instrument is especially like that.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not easy.
No,
it's definitely not easy. Cool. So now we're going to break into our first performance. This is a song off your new EP called "The Pen."
That it is.
Can you tell our viewers a little bit about the song before you play it?
This is the pen, isn't it? I don't even know. What am I doing? It's the title track of the EP. It's a bit of the whole EP is a bit of a mishmash, as we've said. Like, it's a bit of a genre spanning, but I think they've all got the same kind of atmosphere. Yeah. Even though they're very different songs, and they almost I like to think tell a story. Complete accident. They just that's the order I recorded them in, and I listened to it in other orders, and I was like, this doesn't make any sense in any other order than the way I recorded it. So I was just like, this works. But I guess this song's more about I don't know. It's a difficult one to describe. Because the whole thing to get, like, I had my own meanings for every song, but then the whole thing together is kind of, like I said, like a story. Like, they're all part of one thing.
So it's like the whole thing has slightly different meaning than each song, do you mean?
Yeah, like, I think it's like, it's actually quite good coincidence of what's going on right now, that the whole album is kind of like a start off like what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
What am I doing? And then you're slowly like, you know what, it doesn't matter. Things will be alright. So it's quite difficult to pinpoint exact meaning on one song, but like there's turning points within it. That sounds so pretentious. This is pure accident, to be honest. But I think that one, because it's the second track in, it's kind of like still like kind of sad and angry. And then after that, as you know, because you have listened, it kind of gets happier and more optimistic.
Cool.
So I just did a really good impression of a politician and just didn't answer your question at all. Just went around it as many times as possible.
I think we got some meaning from it.
Good, because I don't know what I'm talking about.
So on that note, Eddie, brilliant. Let's hear it. Let's take it away.
Confused mind can still be kind. Who chose it? Who stole it? Sitting with a pen and unused block, my mind pulls out. It can talk a lot about hope and of the kind, but the pen writes the saddest lines. Is it you controls the pen? Controls the words now and then. Are you the filter on my brain? to pain. Broken heart is a work of art. Oh, confused mind can still be kind. Who chose it? Who stole it? Grow my hair and trim my mind. Fading thoughts stand in a line, replacing hurt with a new fear. All this time, love is real. Oh, broken heart is a work of art. Oh, confused mind can still be kind. Who chose it?
Hello, and welcome back to episode 3 of the Real Music Show. I hope you enjoyed the first performance and it gives you a little bit of a taster of what's to come. So, let's find a little bit more about Eddie's personal life. Eddie, can you tell us a little bit about your childhood and upbringing?
Childhood and upbringing. But pretty. It's actually not a bad one. I'd like to say that there was something happened. Well, I don't want to say that. Obviously, that sounds horrible. But
Yeah.
like, I had a pretty good childhood. Pretty lucky living out in the countryside, which actually is probably one of the reasons my music's so chilled out.
Yeah.
Because it's like I've had quite a chilled out upbringing. Spent a lot of time outside, in the country air. So yeah, didn't really like school. Hated school.
Right, okay.
Hated school. But
Did
yeah,
you get kicked out with anything or get in trouble?
not masses. I was a pretty good boy actually. I was a pretty good boy. It all
Just
went
didn't have a
wrong
good time.
after school.
Right, yeah.
It all went wrong afterwards.
I think that happens to a lot of people, actually.
No, well, my mum worked at the school I went to, so
Oh, I see.
I had to behave myself.
Right, okay.
Just kept me in check.
That's a difficult one, because if you got in trouble, you'd be in trouble at home as well.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
hide it. No secrets.
Yeah. So, you said it's been like quite a smooth sort of childhood, but did you have any kind of major setbacks or any major events that you think influenced you to like this day?
Not so much as a child, to be honest. It's like, I mean, I wasn't didn't do very well at school. Like,
Right, okay, yeah.
Like a lot of people, frankly, because it's a system that is designed for the masses. Understandably, and everybody's different, so everybody learns at their own rate and does things in their own way. So I was one of the many people who didn't succeed at school at all. Just doesn't matter how much they try. That's just not the way they learn. So I think music definitely was one of those things that I kind of got super into, because I was like, oh, I can do this, and this matters to me, and like everything else I can't do, but I can do a bit of music. So that's what kind of pushed. I didn't actually realise that until I started talking to you, that music, that's not being very good at school, kind of pushed me more towards music, because I never studied music at school. I just did it in my own time.
Yeah.
Like started learning guitar like as a teenager, like primary school and stuff like that, and early secondary. I had no idea, didn't know what I was doing. but always something creative. I think I wanted to be an artist before I started doing music.
Oh, interesting.
But
yeah,
I wasn't very good, so it's not very interesting. I was a pretty terrible artist, to be honest. But it's what I wanted to do.
So that pushed you into music, maybe?
Yeah, it's just like, I can't do art. I'll do
make
music.
some sound.
I'll make noises.
Strings.
I'll make noises instead.
That's interesting. Yeah. What you said about the school system, I think everyone has a different style of learning.
Yeah.
And that's a big problem that isn't really addressed. For sure.
Yeah, it's also such a complicated issue to address, because like an entire change of the system is what's required, but how easy is it to implement an entire change to an entire system, and who's going to do it when it's all keeping people happy and short-termism really in government. But honestly, that's about as much as I know about politics. Before we get too deep, like that's about my limit of my knowledge.
I won't go too far into politics myself either, but I do feel there's a shift with it, like especially with the internet coming up, where you know there's information everywhere, and it's almost kind of like, you know, if you want to learn to do something, like let's use learning an instrument, you can watch YouTube tutorials and learn at home, like, and become an expert. Whereas like 10 years ago, you would have to paid a tutor and learn from just that person.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I never had a lesson in my life, but I learned from listening to tracks and then just trying to make it sound the same. My dad plays guitar, so he taught me a few chords.
Okay.
And then I was just kind of listening. And then it's only really in the more recent years I've actually gone on YouTube or whatever and just been like, how do you play Stairway to Heaven? Or, how do you play this? How do you play that? The progression was obviously significant once I'd realised I could find it on the internet.
Yeah.
Because we're a little older, like a lot of people will be like, they'll always know how to search on the internet, whereas I had to learn from listening, and I never bothered having lessons or anything like that. Just kind of made it up as I went along.
You know, that's not always a bad way to learn as a musician, because I see a lot of people coming up where they don't develop those listening skills because they're learning completely the other way, where they're just learning a scale and then they're learning how to play a technical song, but they're not thinking about like how it really sounds, and that's kind of like the most important part, to be honest.
There's benefits to both, and
definitely.
negatives to both as well though.
Definitely agree.
I can just join in. Jamming's okay for me, but there's loads of things that I'm not very good at, because it's like teaching yourself to drive. Like, you'd get it, but you do it in your own way, but you might not be able to pass the test because they were like, you're not going to do that, you're not going to do that. But you might have an interesting style. Like, so that's not a greatest analogy, but you know what I mean.
Is there one thing that you know now that you wish you'd known when you started music?
I wish I'd known that I would be able to write songs. Honestly, I just was at that point, I was just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I just was just like, I just want to do something. And I was just like, I want to be Dave Grohl, or I want to be like this. And I think just knowing now that I've written songs and I've got that confidence, I would have liked to have been able to show younger me that I had the confidence to do it. And maybe I would have progressed a little faster. Like, can't change these things, but I was quite a shy kid, so it was unlike now. I was a very shy kid, so it took a long time for me to build the confidence to play in front of people and write songs and things like that. So I would have liked to have been like, don't worry, just stick it out, man.
That's interesting, actually. So do you think like confidence holds you back? Like, if you don't have the confidence, do you think that is a barrier?
It can be. It depends on the person and what you want to achieve. But if you're going to go out and play live, especially in like pubs, admittedly times that we're in now aren't. We'll have to wait and see what actually happens. But confidence is don't want to be arrogant either, because nobody likes an arrogant musician. But and I'm sure I come across as arrogant sometimes. But I swear I'm okay. I'm quite nice.
It's a fine line, right?
But you've got to be confident for sure. You need to have confidence in yourself and confidence in the band you play in as well. It's because it's all about everyone. I mean, I'm playing on my own today, but it would sound rubbish without the bass and drums and people that I've got on my EP. So just slide that in there on my EP.
I want to share something that like might help some of the viewers. I mean, my first ever gig as a drummer was in front of our whole year group at school, and it was like a presentation evening. and like the mayor was there, like the local mayor, like loads of really like, you know, senior people in the community and head teachers and everything. And there was the three of us playing, and basically what happened was, it was this cover of the song Last Resort by Papa Roach.
Oh, yeah.
And I changed the drum part, so it had like double bass in it, right? So it was like da-da-da-da-da-da-da, like that, right?
Yeah.
And then literally about 30 seconds, 60 seconds into the song, the beater went right through the bass drum head,
Right through
all the way through.
Oh, sorry, I'm spitting at you.
So
Social
no,
distance.
it's all right. Right through, right? And so there's no bass drum for the rest of the set. And I was there just like cussing and swearing, and the mayor was there, and I was just there like all angry about it, because basically I'd made the bass drum like the central point of the song, but you couldn't even hear it. Right?
Oh, no.
And then that was my first ever gig, and I was, 14? Right? And there was all these people there. And then literally after that gig, I was like, well, it ain't going to be as bad as that one.
Yeah, there is that. Just don't put holes in your drums and you'll be alright.
Although, what's funny, I've done that several times since.
Have you? Wow.
Yeah, so I try not to do
I
it
like
too
never
much.
break a string or anything. I've managed to like. I don't think I've ever broken a string while playing live, ever, on guitar or bass or anything.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how I've managed it, because I play quite hard as well.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mess about.
Yeah.
But I don't even know. I think it's because I change them quite regularly, because I'm a bit funny about sound, so I'm always just, although saying that I haven't been changed since before lockdown, but but normally I change them a lot. Yeah.
So, going back from mistakes, what has been your proudest achievement to date? So it doesn't have to be just music. So this is like a life achievement. It could
Life
be music.
achievement. I mean, I have
Could
to
be
say,
music.
getting the EP out is pretty big. It's pretty high on the list.
Great to hear. I was hoping you'd say something music related.
Yeah, my proudest achievement. And getting on the radio a few times as well.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Like,
Yeah.
Not many people can say they've done that. So that's, I mean, it's Wiltshire Radio, BBC Wiltshire. I say it's only them, but that's still really cool. Like,
Great exposure, and like,
Yeah.
especially when you're in the local scene already.
yeah, definitely. It also just was really nice.
Yeah.
They're just really friendly, and it's just good to have a chat. And you forget you're on the radio, and then you're like, oh, this is going out to lots of people. And I should probably not swear. Like, it makes me sweaty. Like, playing on the radio, yeah, I can do that. Talking on the radio, terrifying, because you're just so scared about swearing or just like saying something stupid. Like, under this circumstance, it's not as bad, but like, I get proper sweaty hands. I'm really nervous when I talk on the radio. I'm like, oh my god, what am I gonna say?
It's no different though, right? It's the same as what we're doing right now.
Yeah, but this is more relaxed. We're in the garden. I can swear. Like, although I don't think I have, but
Hasn't been too bad so far, but I haven't really been noticing if you have. Okay, cool. So we're going to go into our second performance now. This is a song called From the Forest. Could you tell the viewers a little bit more about this song?
this is the last track on the EP.
Okay.
So this is the more like hopefully optimistic, like, and this is a bit of a rocker actually. Like this version is just me on my guitar, but
Yeah.
on the EP there's bass, there's drums, there's even electric guitar. I go full out.
Ooh, bit of
there's
everything.
a rocker for me. Like it's not heavy metal by any means, but I don't know, because it's a very long song, but it's just like it's almost a classical build up. I think.
Yeah.
It's got that kind of like classical guitar at the beginning, and then at the end, we're just like John Bonham on the drums. Like my drummer George just comes out like, he's like killing the hi-hat. It's like going to die a death. But yeah, that one is it's just things are happy. Do your best to like encourage everyone and be nice. Really, it's a really lamely nice song. It's it should
Cool. Brilliant. Let's hear it. Let's take it away.
forest to the sea. I will share what I can see. Oh, and it's all coming clear. And it's all coming clear. From my head to my toes, I will show you where to go. Oh, and whenever that is, who knows? And wherever that is, we'll go. Oh, what I contemplate is true. For the summer skies are blue. Oh, and the future is looking clear. So no need for a single tear.
So, welcome back to episode 3 of the Real Music Show. I hope you enjoyed the last performance. Now, into our final part, we're going to talk a little bit about Eddie's future plans, and and anything else that you'd like to leave the viewers with, really. So can you tell us a little bit more about what's planned over maybe like the coming months and the coming years?
Coming months, it's mostly just so up in the air, isn't it, with everything that's going on? Like,
hard to know at the moment.
My plans have changed, like this month, probably 18 times, I swear. Because obviously this year I had quite a good year booked in. I had quite a lot of gigs booked in, which was really nice. Really nice progression from like pub gigs to like actual gigs, like less money but more supporting actual artists and things. So that's obviously not happening, which is fair enough, because probably should be careful. But yeah, I'm trying to get more gigs together, but the government guidelines keep on changing, and I don't want to put anyone at risk. So it's a future plan is a bit of a weird one at the moment, but I'm going to keep on pushing my EP, and hopefully people just listen to it, and just hopefully they can enjoy it. Like, you can buy it and you can get it for free. I just want people to listen to it, man.
Well, we'll post a link in the video description below, so anyone can check it out. Is there anything that you'd like to tell the viewers about the EP? Like any sort of points? What should they expect when they listen to it?
I mean, it's going to be a lot fuller than what you would have heard from me today, because I'm just me and my acoustic. But although one track is just guitar and vocals, but yeah, it's a band EP. But I mean, yeah, hopefully I just want people to enjoy it, like, because as much as I've enjoyed it, it sounds horribly arrogant, but it is fun making a CD. It costs a lot of money, so it's I spent a lot of money, but I don't think about that. I try not to think about that, because I'm just like, I've made a CD. That's like one of my life goals. So I'm just like, I have a physical CD. You can get it online, and that's the link you'll put up. But it's just nice having something in your hand. You can just, it's just awesome. I'm pretty happy with it. There will be more music, of course. Still writing, still making things. Might eventually have some more live stuff, but with the band. Might be able to do a recorded thing similar to this. And just do like have you ever seen the Radiohead basement sessions?
I think I have, yeah.
On
it's
YouTube,
great.
They're so good.
I love all basement session type stuff.
That's what we're planning on doing, something similar. We're just trying to find a good location, and then we're just going to do the whole 3-piece and just bosh out the EP basically, and then
that'd be great.
Put it on YouTube and on Facebook and Instagram, and just want people to see us playing live, because as a 3-piece it's so much better than just me on my own. It's more about the band than it is about me, because it doesn't sound as good as I want it to sound if it's just me. I've always written for a band, even though I play on my own quite a lot. It's only recently I've kind of put the band together, and then lockdown happened and we're like, oh well, we won't be doing any gigs then. But it's cool to have that sound. So I've achieved a goal, even if I'm not doing any gigs really at the moment, but I've achieved that, so that's pretty good.
It's good to be making use of the time. I think it's difficult to know what's going to happen with the music industry with COVID. Like, what do you see a way out? Like
eventually,
for gigs, and what do you think is going to happen with?
I think it's
music?
going to take a lot of patience.
Yeah,
it's going to be a long time. I think the thing is you can't jump on it too quickly, because everybody's desperate to hear live music again. I think it's nice because a lot of people seem to be more appreciative now that it's gone. So people are like, oh man, I really want to see all these gigs that I didn't go and see when I had the chance. And I'm one of them. I'm just as guilty from, like, you see like a gig and you're like, oh, I can't really go to that. Oh, maybe I'll go, I got work tomorrow or something like that. And I'm like, wish I'd gone. So they have to be careful, because obviously as soon as they start doing things, too many people turn up. That's why things like Record Store Day were cancelled and stuff like that. So, which I couldn't do because it was cancelled, understandably, because they didn't want hundreds of people turning up, because you can't guarantee social distancing and things at events like that. So it's when we can eventually go back, I think the music industry will suddenly jump up. So people miss it. Music's part of your life. Like 99% of people absolutely love music, like even in their own way, or even if it's something we don't necessarily like. It's subjective, and people have music in their lives every day. So I think people are really missing it.
Completely agree with that. Yeah, 100%. Like, it's such a key part of, as we said earlier, like how people stay connected to each other, and you know, how people get through hard times and all this kind of stuff. It's but you know, there is some positives that have coming out of it too. Like, I'm seeing a lot more bands doing like live sessions and looking at different ways to connect with fans.
Yeah,
I think it's a good time to be trying those kind of new ideas.
yeah. I'm glad we're doing this because I'm rubbish at that sort of stuff. Like, I'm so bad in front of a camera, like just playing.
Yeah.
Under my own steam. Like, live, I feed off the people that are watching. So I can, if loads of people are enjoying it, I play even better than I would play better than I normally do. But yeah, playing to a camera is hard. It's weird.
Brilliant. So I think that's pretty much everything we're going to cover for today. Where can people kind of connect and find you online?
Eddie Witcomb Music on Instagram. Eddie Witcomb on Facebook. And you can get me on all the main music things, YouTube, Spotify, basically everywhere.
Perfect.
If you know my name, you can find me.
And we'll pop all the links and everything below. So we've got one last performance from you to play us out today, and it's a new song, am I right?
It's really new. That's so the performance might be a little, but you know, it's live music. That's how it goes, isn't it? It's like there'll be mistakes, but everybody makes mistakes. So,
cool.
But it's absolutely brand new, written about. I mean, it's not a very exciting subject. I think everybody's pretty sick of hearing it, but it's written about our social lives now, like, and everything that's going on, and with all the different things that have happened, including lockdown and Black Lives Matter and anything really. I've not jumped on the bandwagon by any means. I'm just talking in a very general. Everything seems to be a bit mental at the moment. Like
2020, what a year, eh?
Yeah, what a year. It's a good vintage.
Absolutely, yeah.
Won't be buying that wine.
So the song's called Wasteland, and like you said, it should give the viewers a kind of lovely metaphor for everything that's going on in the world. But yeah, thank you very much for coming on the show today. Really appreciate it.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Love it.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, guys. Take care. We'll see you next time.